Still gorgeous. You want to know what I've been working on? I've been working on that in a snowstorm. It's awesome. Oh, this is basically a truck that my brother told me if I can get it running, I can keep it. It's like a 2005, it's an X-Force service truck, Dodge Ram crew cab. And it would be in order to get rid of that one. So basically a work truck. But it had overheating issues with the 4.7. That means head gaskets. And so it clearly had some bad head gaskets. Had a lot of bad things, really. I got some heads back from a machine shop in Stevensville, Montana. I'm not really sure why I drove that far, but I was very satisfied with the work they did. Place called. So that is all they do, but they did a really good job. Got them sparkling clean. They had to be resurfaced. Look at that. Look how smooth that is. So much smoother than before. They had to be resurfaced because the 4.3 heads were bent all to hell every time it overheats. And it had horrible compression. I attributed all of that to blown head gasket, but turns out that half of that was to bad valve seats. So, machining, I was all in 400 bucks. So if I can get this thing going for 400 bucks, well, by the time I'm done, I'll be in at 1,000 with all the extra parts. But if I can get it going, then that'll be good. I'm not replacing timing chains or sprockets. Quite frankly, they don't feel bad. Everything in here looks fine. But now I have this. It's not quite top dead center. I want to rock it back to right there. But you see this mark lines up in between those two. And then down here, you can see that mark lines up with that black link. So yeah, I'll rock it back just slightly. I've stuffed the chains down inside so that I can hopefully fly the heads on here in a bit. I just need to go back, now that I've got grease on this, I need to go back and re-clean everything. And I am doing that with diesel. Just a light gray diesel. And then I'll probably follow that. Well, I don't know if I'd say I might follow that with a wipe down of mineral spirits. But so yeah, I got to get these heads, the mounting surfaces, I need to go back over them. I've already cleaned them once, but I want to go back over them and just make sure. Yeah, look at that. Something's been in that piston before. Oh, come on. You know, there's lots and lots of videos on doing these. Do yourself a favor. Don't half-ass it and just tear the whole front of it out. Right? There's air box and air cleaner and radiator. Just take it out. Just take it all out. I know the Dodge dealerships will pull the air conditioner, but so far I've been able to do this without cracking the AC loose. When I need to work up there, I set it down there. When I need to work here, I set it up there. So I've been able to get away with doing that so far. It does put quite a little kink in that line over there. Yeah, I think it'll probably be okay. And one of the biggest pain in the ass is the wiring harness. So prepare yourself for that. Unless you thought I was kidding about doing this in a blizzard. So here is my head back. He said he lubed everything. I'll pour oil over it before I put it down. In most of the videos they show them going back together. God, I hope this doesn't flash rust. They show them going back together with these, you know, all the lifters out of it, but I don't have any real way to put them back in, so I'm gonna have to try to get it put together with the lifters still in it. You know, you can carefully grab this little chunk right here with a rag and a pair of pliers, and you can rotate it one click But I'm gonna go get this manifold blown off so that I can put the exhaust manifold on this head. Here is all the stuff for the right-hand head. You know it's the right-hand head because it's got the cam indexing. This is the cam sensor. Right, it goes in right there. I'm going to leave it out until it's in the motor. Your kit should come with a new gasket for it. Don't forget that, and wipe a little bit of oil on it when you put it on. I also have this thing, which is a water port. It'll go right there. Don't forget to Teflon that up. I had these bolts, these 4 here. That one with the stud went right there. And then these 3 go in right here. Yeah. I can't remember what that holds on. I have this one, which is, yep, that's cam sensor. I'll probably thread that in so I don't lose it. The only one I don't know is that one. Oh, that holds a ground wire on the back of the head. So there are all of your, I believe that's the way it goes. That or I have those 2 reversed, but I think that's how it goes. I used some good Teflon thread sealant. Please remember, this is a tapered pipe fitting into an aluminum head. So there's no need to hang on the wrench. You know what I mean? You're just going to crack it. Okay, the way you hang these is you put the bottom 2 in, you pull the exhaust manifold out, and this thing slips down inside. Then you thread the rest of them together, and then you tighten. I am going to put I'm going to put anti-seize on them, just cause. Torque spec on these is 18 foot-pounds. You do these center ones. I'm going to do them in a cross, and then I'll do those in a cross, 10 millimeter, 10 millimeter, 12 millimeter, 13 millimeter, because I guess screw you. All right, everything is clean here. It's clean on the motor. Here's my problem though. Right now, all the valves are completely closed. Okay. Again, normally when I see them on the internet, the guys that are putting them together are putting them together without any of the valve train in it. But I don't want to undo the valve train. So here is my thought. I want to rotate, because I know I have the motor set. So this V8 right here should be top dead center. I'm going to go ahead and rotate this. But of course it's under tension, so I'm a little worried it's going to try to snap back into place. We're going to see. It could be a bit of a trick, especially doing it by myself. But the snow stopped. It's great. I mean, it's like 37 degrees out here. It might as well be July. This is going to be fine. Nah. It's more or less happy sitting right here. In the truck, that V8 is going to have to roll up into here. But this is definitely close enough that when I'm going to put that timing gear on, I can grab right here. I can roll the the cam enough that I can slip the gear in place, and I don't have to worry, because I don't want it to, you know, hit valves and things. So this should be fine, not hitting valves. All right, we are ready. I don't have a metric tap. Or a tap long enough to tap out the bottom of these holes anyways. So I just essentially swabbed them out with a screwdriver until everything came out dry. I believe it's going to be okay. I have Felpro gaskets on it. I don't know if that's better or worse than what was on there before, but I believe we are ready to fly the head in. Got my jacket setting here. If I can bring the head up, I can then climb down into the engine compartment, and I believe fly and set in one smooth motion. I have everything pushed back, so I believe it will clear. Everything flew on there really just perfectly. I have the 10 main head bolts in. I do not have the 2 on the inside here or those 2 down there, which are the weird bolts in the bag. I forgot what they were. These, they all have thread sealer, blue Loctite thread sealer, the medium stuff. It looks like that was what was on it. Now, there is a specific torque sequence. I wrote it out here to help me understand it, but you're probably going to want to look it up on the internet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All that's fairly standard if you've done this before. You're going to do these 10 to 15, repeat to 35. When you get those to 35, then you start on 11 through 4, and they go to 18 foot-pounds, and those are the ones, so 11, 12, 13, 14, those are the ones that need the sealer. Then comes the tricky part, and I guess why you have to replace thread bolt or head bolts nowadays, but you need to go back to all of these, and you're going to go 90 degrees. There's not like a set torque. That seems really weird to me, but you go another 90 degrees. And then you take these back up to 22 foot-pounds. So I have done that one, then that one, and now this one right here. And I'm ready for the 90-degree additional bump. Which, if I'm honest, it's got me a little bit nervous. I don't like that. I'd much prefer an actual torque spec, but the guys that did my head really wanted me to purchase one of the little cheapy angle guide things. I didn't. Well, let's just say I did my best. There were a couple of places where I couldn't quite get the full 90 degrees, and so I just had to back off and estimate, but I believe I did a good job. Well, this is the left head, and some bad news. I was like, why does this thing have so much slop in it? Because the pin sheared off, and this timing gear has rattled, and it's gouged out down in there, and it's gouged out here. So, I guess that's on me. It would have been it'd have been cool if I'd gotten some warning from the head shop, but I don't see any way to get that pin out. A new camshaft and a new timing gear set, I imagine, right? So this is disappointing, but it's not going to stop what I need to do, because it's almost 2:30 now. I need to get this head bolted on the motor. That's what I need to do. I'm back, still glorious, and it's been a week. Here we are back together. I was able to get the alignment pin out of this one. I didn't show you because I was just working, and what I did is I actually welded a washer on, and then we don't need that anymore anyways. I welded a washer on it and then was able to tap the washer back and off. I've come to the decision that my head plate should have caught that. That's earlier when I was telling you, hey, I recommend this, and then I cut the audio or blanked it out or whatever it was I did. This is why. I'm not saying it's their fault. It's remotely not their fault. You can tell from the gear it's been like that for a long time. And, you know, my brother missed it. My dad missed it. But that guy had that gear off, and this is all he does for a living. And it seems like a hell of an omission, you know, on his part. So not the best look for their shop for sure. So I'm just going to leave the name out of the shop, even though I think they were fine individuals. So here's the actual plan I have. I have a pin coming. It's actually the second pin I have coming. It can sometimes really suck to live way out in the boondocks of Montana because we don't actually have regular mail delivery to our homes. We have P.O. boxes. Anyways, I ordered a pin. I think in most cases you don't replace them. If you need a new pin, you just get a new camshaft. Chrysler's pretty proud of them. Except I don't have a real one coming because the original order got rejected in their system because they can't handle P.O. boxes. It is, if you don't experience it, it's something that happens all the time, because we just really don't have physical addresses. So I had to get another one coming, and the pin is like $6 and shipping is $14, because that makes a whole lot of sense. But anyways, it won't be here for another week and a half, maybe, as long as nothing goes wrong with that. So I'm kind of hooped until then, which really pisses me off, because the weather's turning to shit. Anyways, what I'm going to do today is get this installed. I have all new timing gears and guides and chains and everything else. If I'm in this far, I'm going to go all the way in, so I'm going to get all of that out. It doesn't appear to be particularly difficult to get everything lined up. So I'll get out the Ugga machine, we'll get that bolt off right there, and then we'll go to town. This is the one-handed tricky part. So I need to put together the head timing chains, right? And each of these have 2 black links. You want to be able to look through. You need your pin at 12. I just dropped off. You want to be able to look through here and see your 2 black links, and they should be centered. So the rear chain is the right head, so I need to get it back up and on right here, and then the front chain is the left head. This all looks like a real pain in the ass to hold it together, and I don't have Dodge's tool, so I built this thing right here, which is just, 2 wedges, a wooden disc, and then, well, I guess 2 clamps, a wooden disc and a wedge, and that is what I need to assemble in order to keep this thing all properly timed up, because you have to slide it on with this lower gear hanging down from it, and you need to keep everything perfect and fish these up through. You'll know when they're correct, because the black links should essentially be at the top on both sides. There's no way I'll be able to film and do this. I'll show you when I'm done. So this is how it's going to look when it's all said and done. This is how it has to fly straight onto that motor. Again, this is that lower gear. That's where I got to get that keyway on. Once that lower one is on, then we can work on the upper one, and we're just going to hope everything stays together with my clamps until I can get these 2 chains up and out. Again, I will not be able to film this. Well, just assume that's going to be fiddly as shit and a pain in the ass to do, but I got it. The big problem I had was this bottom gear jumps up on a shoulder, you can see right there, and it simply didn't want to go in. I think we're good. I have to pull these wedges to make sure nothing jumped, but I wonder how far off the key we are right there. Okay, definitely at the moment she's properly timed. So I have 2 different cam gears from my Napa kit. This one has the V8, this one's not, but it is still marked with the left hand head, and the black mark of the chain hits right there. Right hand head, black mark of the chain hits right there. The only way, best I can figure, is to have those 2 in the right places is if everything down here is correct. This is still lined up there, that is still lined up there. Now it's worth pointing out that I don't actually have these cams properly set, because this one is rolled over to rest over here, and that one doesn't have the alignment pin yet. I'm trying to figure out if I dare roll this one back over and get it set completely. That one will have to come back out. But the alignment pin on this one, I just have to move it slightly and then tap it into place, I hope. Do I dare tap them in place with it on the motor? Interesting. Otherwise, I'll need to keep tension on that. So if I decide I won't tap it in place with the cam on the motor, I'll have to get this off. I'll put a bungee to it, go up and over the fender and hold it back, and then I can slip everything out. But yeah, that should be good. I put the Ugga machine on that center one there to tighten it up. I have no way to lock this block and torque it, so we're just gonna get her good enough. Good enough. And once I get that in, I can pull that chain tensioner pin. I believe once I roll that cam and get that one to slip in, I can pull this chain tensioner pin, but I don't dare pull that one. That'll keep the rest of these properly aligned, I hope. Fingers crossed. Here it is. The thing I waited 2.5 weeks for. Finally here. It needs to go in that hole right there. I'm hoping that I can just very lightly, because I'm tapping on the thrust washers of the cam. God help me, don't do this. I'm hoping I can just very lightly tippity tap it in. If I can get it good and started, then I can use the bolt, and I can tighten up the bolt, and the bolt will has a washer, and it'll push that pin in. I hope. Either way, this is going to be the end of the video. Obviously, if you're at this far and you've done this, don't follow me, right? I'm just trying to unfuck something. At least it wasn't my part in the first place. Put the motor back together. So if you got it this far apart, you know how to put the motor back together. This is the end of the video. Thoughts and prayers, huh? It wasn't the end of the video. Look at this. Look at this. Like a glove. I mean, it tip-tapped in there. If I was like hitting the palm of your hand with the hammer that hard, you'd say ow, right? But if I didn't stop, you wouldn't have punched me. So I'm gonna get that bolt on so I can't lose that thing, and get the magic Ugga machine, because I still have no way to torque this down, and be done. Tomorrow the daytime high is supposed to be 20. The day after is 0.